I call the meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, would you please read the open public meeting act?
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by forwarding a copy to the Courier News, Star Ledger, and posting on the Township website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting, all in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Foster?
Here.
Mrs. Illis?
Here.
Mr. Machado?
Here.
Mr. Maderos?
Here.
Mr. Moran?
Here.
Mrs. Pogue?
Here.
Mayor DeBate?
I'm here. Will you all please stand for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag. Before we get started with the proclamation for Wayne Osborne, one of our crossing guards, I want to take a moment of silence for one of our own crossing guard from the BHPD crossing guard, Ed Cronin, who passed away suddenly. So if you'd all just take a moment of silence with me. Thank you all. And I'd like to call aboard Wayne Osborne, please. Chief May. How are you this evening?
Very good.
All right. So I have a special proclamation for you. Proclamation, Township of Berkeley Heights. Whereas in New Jersey, school crossing guards are responsible for ensuring the safe passage of children across busy streets by stopping traffic with a handheld paddle, modeling safe pedestrian behavior, and reporting hazards to local police. And whereas school crossing guards must work in all weather conditions and remain at their assigned posts for the duration of their shift. And whereas Wayne Osborne has been a Berkeley Heights crossing guard for 10 years, safely crossing Columbia Middle School students at Hamilton Avenue and Plainfield Avenue. And whereas Wayne has always offered to lend a helping hand and has helped the administration with front door duties at Town Hall, sometimes at the last minute. And whereas Wayne Osborne has retired from his crossing guard post as of, I need to get my tongue untwisted. Hold on, let's try that again. Whereas Wayne Osborne,
The name is Oborn.
Oborn, I'm sorry, I apologize. Thank you. Thank you for that. Whereas Wayne Oborn has retired from his crossing guard post as of December 2025, and he will be missed by many of the students at CMS. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the Township Council of the Township of Berkeley Heights, on behalf of all of our citizens, do formally recognize and publicly thank Wayne for 10 years of service to the township as a school crossing guard, approved the 17th day of February 2026. Congratulations. Thank you for those.
It was an honor working here at the crossing guard, and your town is fortunate because the kids are extremely respectful and it's been a lot of fun.
That's wonderful. Can I ask all the other crossing guards to come up and take a picture?
I will say, Wayne wasn't always just worried about the children. He was always worried about the other guards as well. He would always call me and advocate for them. Sometimes the answer was no. But he would always call me and he was always worried about everybody.
We butt heads a few times, but.
And it all worked out.
I'll get through.
Is that your wife?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Can we call you up as well?
Oh,
We've got lots of people taking pictures. I'm sure we'll get a nice picture for you.
Don, come up here.
We're trying to get a raise.
Call picture up there. It works. You have it there.
One, two, smile. One more. Got it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
for all
much.
your service. We appreciate you, Wayne.
Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll do that all. Yeah, we'll let you know. Yep.
Congratulations. Enjoy all the free time.
I'm gonna try.
Done.
Okay, now on to conference session. We do have a few additional items. Ready, we're pulling it. We're pulling, this, I don't know, we're pulling the zoning ordinance related to Connell. A few more details that we do need to work out with the Connell company. That's all we need to say. All right, next up, we have the pre-qualification regulation for the hotel board restoration. Do we have our architect?
No, so it's supposed to be.
Okay,
Liza, I do have, you do have.
meeting's flowing really well right now. Sorry.
Ordinance 1, which is the building heights. That's what that note is about, sorry, building heights. It's the one we introduced last meeting, sorry for the confusion. That's our date change.
Okay. Sorry. Well,
That's what I was trying to,
okay. So if you had something, do you want me to see what, is that your? ordinance?
it is.
Something to say.
Oh, I can. All right, so I'm gonna pop in and I'm just gonna say that ordinance 2026-1 will be considered for adoption on March 3rd because the planning board did not meet prior to this meeting. Their 2-4 meeting was canceled, so we're just off by one cycle.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Welcome.
Handled that beautifully.
It's in Mayor, so I just did my response.
And tell me about agenda, regular agenda.
Do there. She's not here, so. Can we do the regular agenda for her?
Well, we,
Is she coming?
the thing is that we need the public session before the public hearing for that, so do you wanna go
As
to
long as
consent
it's-
first?
Yeah.
And then go back to that,
Later. Yeah.
as long as they're, okay.
Okay, so are we skipping that part for now?
But with that,
We have to go back,
you have to skip 95
okay?
because that has to be after the public hearing.
Okay, so our architect is not here presently. I think we're expecting her, just so everyone understands what's going on with this little glitch. Seems like we have a couple of glitches tonight.
We do council reports first. and-
We,
And the,
We'll be here in
So let's
6
start
minutes.
with
oh, so we do the
Report.
okay. So, John,
Right out of the gate. Yeah,
talk about pivoting.
I'm gonna throw a blanket on this fire in a hurry, please. Okay, first I'd like to mention that the Historical Preservation Committee has been working hard to get a new group together. And we've actually come up with, the new group is going to be called the Berkeley Heights Heritage Foundation. And we actually received our EIN number. So we are a tax exempt 501c3 organization. Yeah, baby. All right, we're good to go.
Good job.
So, once the dollar donations pouring in now, come on, bring it on, bring it on, okay? I'd like to start with this, tomorrow is National Drink Wine Day.
Must be for the mayor.
Yeah,
Just
just
for the mayor.
anybody who wants to take this into consideration, it'd be a shame to waste it just for one day, so, just imbibe if you can. Wine has its benefits for all, other drinks of wine have low risks of liver disease, type 2 diabetes, certain kinds of cancer, heart attack, and stroke. It can also reduce bad cholesterol and increase the good. Okay. I'd also like to mention that Friday the 20th, this is for you, this one's for you, Bill. It's National Love Your Pet Day. And so pet lovers, well, that's great. Yeah, it's everybody has a pet. Can show that they're affection for their best friends. Today, I know there's not many hours left in the day, but today is Random Acts of Kindness Day. Okay, it's to bring joy to people that you come across. The day encourages people to do good deeds, to celebrate the pay it forward mentality. It also reminds us to do something kind to for someone else, but to have a big impact not only on their day, but also on yours. Being kind to others makes us happier, makes us realize we need to be kinder to ourselves also. An act of kindness doesn't have to be a big gesture either. Sometimes the smallest act can have the biggest impact.
Can I just say that the neuroscience supports that being kind actually change the neural pathways in your brain and that actually makes you more empathetic? So that's true.
And last but not least, on February 26th, it is National Letter to an Elder Day. It's observed to combat senior loneliness by encouraging people to send handwritten letters, cards, and notes to older adults, particularly those in isolation. It encourages spreading love through kind and intergenerational communication. So write some letters on the 26th. That's all I got. Thank you.
Go next, because there's 3 things I want to piggyback on. President
Well, you know what? This is just not a
Yeah.
the last meeting anyways.
Yeah. Okay, so, to piggyback on the Be Kind and the pets. So a few of us have noticed that Columbia Park is full of pet waste. And we do have an ordinance here in town, and it's ordinance number 13-05. And you are supposed to contain your pet waste. You're supposed to pick it up. And there's a fine of up to $500 if you are caught leaving your pet waste. Columbia Park is, and I'm going to use the word, disgusting.
It's the snow, some.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
There's just pet waste everywhere, and the snow will melt, that will drop down, and it's a health hazard. So, well, I know that. So I just want to remind everyone, please pick up your pet waste and dispose of it in a container. It's a responsibility of the pet owner, and it's kind to our community. And the other piggyback was the power of the personal letter is a real thing. And we've gotten away from handwriting letters to people, and my friend from high school wrote me a letter, and I immediately wrote back.
Yeah.
And there is some power in that. And I don't have to finish the rest of mine, it can come back to me, or I can just finish. Okay. I submitted the grant for the AARP Challenge Grant for $14,710 to spice up Peppertown Park. I attended the Cover Girls Library event here on Sunday. It was great 60s and music, and I was seeing some residents cheering and singing.
How many people did it? Yeah.
Oh, it had to be, I would say at least,
Really?
yeah, I mean, except for the back row, it was pretty well filled.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I know I was one of the ones singing aloud, and they encouraged that.
So it's good.
I want to wish a happy Lunar New Year to anyone who celebrates, and if you want to celebrate with our community, you can celebrate at the Y on Sunday at 4:00. And on Saturday at 5:00 is the Mayor's Wellness Love Yourself Dance Party. And there'll be some high school girls teaching some dance moves. We're going to have some lovely chocolate snacks and some lovely socks to give out to everyone. There'll be an affirmation station. So it's going to be a really great event. I hope we can see a lot of people there. And that's all I've got.
Okay, back to Margaret.
Okay. So, senior luncheon this past week was fabulous, hosted by the recreation department, and, there were great volunteers, the food was wonderful, about 140 people attended. So the attendance was fabulous, and everybody had a great time. The Greenbrook Flood Commission had their fall, there are no significant updates related to our part of the project. They did say that the Army Corps of Engineers is out of money, and the project is not being, at this moment, it's not being recommended for additional funding. So the Army Corps and the Greenbrook Flood group are working on changing that, but that's where it is right now. The flooding task force, we have the resolution on the agenda to stand that back up, and I'll be back in touch with those people. So hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have an update on that. Complete and Green Streets is running on along. We had a meeting this past week where we put together the draft of the Complete and Green Streets policy for Berkeley Heights. So once the committee completes their draft, then we'll run it by the administration and make sure that, the administration and council, and the mayor is all on board with that before we introduce it. Complete and Green Streets is also planning a sidewalk audit. We're compiling the data on the sidewalk grants that we've gotten so far and where they are in town, plus the school zones, the walking zones, the pedestrian zones associated with the schools, so we can figure out what's missing to prioritize our grants and future work. And I want to do a shout out to local businesses. In this past week, I needed a thank you gift for somebody, and I also needed firewood, and that sounds like an odd combination, but there is a place in town where you can get both of those, and it's Hall's Center. So with the cold weather, we had burned through our stack of firewood, and they set us up with a delivery the following day, which I thought was phenomenal.
It's great.
And I got my gift. I followed up with a lunch at Tino's Pizza with some friends, and we had sandwiches, not pizza, and they were astounded. I've had 2 meetings with, committee people in town at Bread and Brew, which is a great addition to the downtown. And
Two Fields Bake Shop came through when I needed a vegan treat for a meeting that I was going to, and they are just the nicest people. And the cookies, you would not know that they were vegan and gluten-free and allergy-free. They were just plain delicious. So I encourage everyone to go visit our downtown businesses, pick one you haven't been to before, or someplace you haven't been in a while, because we want them to thrive, we don't want them.
All right, very good. Thank you, Margaret. Bill?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on Two Fields Bakery. I had those pumpkin muffins, the chocolate chip muffins, they were phenomenal. So I would suggest trying those out. I just want to address the recent sightings that I've been getting a lot of calls on coyotes within our town. And I'd just like to address that for a minute. Just want to make sure that more importantly, just to ease your concerns, first and foremost, sightings of coyotes are not unusual in suburban communities like ours. As development has expanded over the years, wildlife has adapted and coyotes have become a natural and established part of the New Jersey's ecosystem. Coyotes are generally shy and avoid human interaction. In most cases, when one is spotted, it's simply passing through in search of food. Seeing a coyote during daylight hours does not necessarily mean it is sick or aggressive. They are opportunistic animals and may adjust their activity patterns depending on food availability and environmental factors. If you encounter a coyote, remain calm and do not run. Instead, make yourself appear larger, maintain eye contact, and back away slowly. You can wave your arms, clap your hands, or speak in a loud, firm voice. This technique is known as hazing and reinforces their natural instinct to avoid us. So it's also important to keep pets on a leash and closely supervise small pets while outdoors, especially during early morning and evening hours when wildlife tends to be most active, especially this month. During this time of the year, particularly, coyotes can be more active, more vocal, and more territorial as they seek mates. That increase in activity can naturally lead to more sightings. This makes it even more important to remain vigilant, avoid leaving pets unattended outdoors, and eliminate any potential food sources around your home, such as unsecured trash or pet food left outside. Now, I understand that wildlife sightings can be unsettling. However, they also serve as a reminder that we live in a beautiful community where nature is still very much present. Our goal is not eradication, but education, awareness, and responsible coexistence. If you observe aggressive, unusual behavior, or behavior that poses an immediate threat to the public safety, please contact our local PD. Otherwise, I encourage everyone to stay informed, take reasonable precautions, and remember that in most cases, coyotes want nothing to do with us. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Good information. Alvaro?
I just have two things. I just want to remind everyone, this Sunday at the YMCA, they're celebrating Lunar New Year from 4 o'clock to 6. Everyone should try to make it out there. It's a lot of fun. It's really, really well done. And then on Monday is Taste of Berkeley Heights at Embassy Suites from 6 to 9. So be there or be square.
All right, good information. Andrew?
Good evening. I just want to be, I'll be very brief. March 2nd starts Employee Appreciation Week. So I just want to thank all the township employees, those present here especially, that do the work of the town and really provide us the information so we can make decisions up here on the base. I thank you all.
That's a great point. Thank you, Andrew. All right, administration reports. As Susan mentioned, on February 21st, we are hosting the Love Yourself Dance Party featuring some of our high school dancers, and I see one in the audience, so I'm going to make Lauren stand up. She's going to be one of our instructors on Saturday. And I just always try to bring everything back to Spire because you know how much this happiness studies thing means to me. So we'll take on the elements of the physical, the relational, and the spiritual, actually. So looking ahead, we will also host in March Happy Habits Workshop on March 21st at 11 a.m. During the session, I am going to teach the science behind making MVIs, and that's the minimum viable interventions. That's the short, meaningful happiness booster stick. The focus will be on practical tools residents can use to build sustainable well-being in their daily lives. Regionally, we are continuing to work with our coalition of mayors to pursue federal appropriations and coordination with the USDA to address some of the worst drainage blockages in Berkeley Heights and throughout the region. This collaborative approach strengthens our ability to secure meaningful support. And I think we've heard from 4 towns at this point. And Berkeley Heights will be the lead. You'll see a resolution on the agenda related to that topic. Additionally, I just want to share with everybody that I had the honor of presenting the Spire-based wellness initiatives of the Mayor's Wellness Committee to master's and PhD students in the Happiness Studies program. The students were genuinely impressed by the scope and impact of what we're doing right here in Berkeley Heights. And now I'm connecting with 2 Canadian graduate students who are interested in exploring how they may apply similar initiatives in Canada, and another person who graduated or is in the PhD program from Mexico. So that just demonstrates the kind of initiatives that we're taking on and how cutting edge they are. Finally, I also want to mention what Margaret mentioned. The Senior Valentine's Luncheon was heartfelt and joyful. Chief May and I were grateful for the opportunity to connect with all the seniors. We stopped at all the tables, and they were very happy to meet the new chief and to have a conversation. And I think I hugged at least half of them. What do you say? And just again, all of our efforts reflect our continued commitment to the Spire framework and supporting spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional well-being of our residents. And by intentionally designing programs that touch each of these dimensions, we are not just hosting events, we are building a community culture where whole being flourishing is the norm in Berkeley Heights. So that concludes my report. Liza, administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Right now, we have a few key priorities. One is ensuring that we get our congressional appropriation into both the House and the Senate for the anti-flooding measures. Those are due within the next few weeks, so that's one of the bigger priorities we're working on right now. We're also finalizing our capital budget request to present to council for the various departments as well as operating. It's probably no surprise. Sewer priorities will again be near the top once again to be sure we have sufficient conveyance systems to handle the flow in town. We are going through and really trying to prioritize what needs to be done while also ensuring that developers that are sending flow to us both in town and out of town also pay their portion of upgrades needed. Also, the DEP conducted some inspections last week that will continue this week at our wastewater treatment plant. And our inspector gave us glowing reviews. He even had some entry-level DEP workers with him and was singing our praises. It's really amazing how, we've turned this plant into a gold star type of plant in terms of our initiatives. They are particularly impressed with our I&I program. I&I is inflow and infiltration, which is essentially an effort to reduce the amount of stormwater that gets into our sewer pipes. In our type of system, those two are separate. So the more stormwater that gets into our sewer pipes, the more overflow we have, the more it pushes us out of DEP compliance for the various permits that we have to stay in. We have coined this program, our inflow and infiltration reduction and resiliency program, or I2R2. I'm gonna try to get us an award for this initiative, especially for most creative name. But we're trying to get funding wherever we can to help offset some of the larger projects that we do have to do within this next year. So along with that, we are also the grant season has opened again, so we're seeing a lot of the infrastructure grants. Susan's been looking at quite a few of the grants. We're looking at everything from recreation, infrastructure, senior citizen programming. What else is out there?
The fire sub.
Yes, fire department equipment, especially for volunteer firefighters. There's typically some assistance out there. So anything infrastructure related, we normally really try to hone in on, and those are really the big things right now. I have gotten some questions from friends or neighbors about the school referendum. I just want to, just encourage everybody. They do have a great section of their website, the school district, solely dedicated to all the information about the referendum. There's graphics, there's infographics, so it's really an attractive site to look at with a lot of good information. So I'd encourage everyone to go there. I think it's like bhpsnj.org/referendum or something similar.
Board
So-
member in the audience, is that correct? Yes, okay, thank you.
I have neighbors asking, and I'm like, go to their website, it's great information, I don't wanna misspeak. So yes, please just educate yourself about that on the website, or, you know, contact your Board of Ed representative, one of them, that's it, thank you.
All right, since we did the reports at the front end, we don't need to accept them, right? Okay. Let's go pivot back to conference session and the pre-qualification regulations, Littell Board Restoration by Connolly and Hickey, please.
Do have copies of the regulations, so if anyone wanted to see them.
Say that again?
I have copies of the regulations.
The copies of the regulations are available here if anyone would like to grab or obtain a copy.
Bring up this show.
Yep.
Bring it up now, okay. I went through because I thought I was gonna have to do this myself.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so glad you're here. Much more informative. I forgot to tell you the earlier start. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so my name is Margaret Hickey. I'm a historic preservation specialist with Connolly and Hickey Historical Architects. My business partner is also in the audience, Tom Connolly, just in case you've got some structural questions. We are about to embark on the phase 2 restoration of the Little Lord farmhouse. We undertook the first phase, which addressed some of the structural deficiencies that was caused by both powder post beetles and just poor initial construction long before you guys own the property. So the scope of work for this phase will be, and this work is partially funded by a New Jersey Historic Preservation Trust Fund grant. Structural upgrades at the roof framing, siding repair, replacement, window and door restoration, porch restoration. We're gonna put back some of the wood flooring that was taken out under the previous phase, some masonry restoration, and then surface preparation and painting. Next one. So this is just a quick picture of the building that was taken maybe a couple months ago before the snow. And in this you can kind of see some of the deterioration. So the next picture. So the next couple of pictures show some of the work that was done under the previous phase. We had to almost 100% replace most of the floor framing in the building. It was in very bad condition. We also did some structural work to the wall framings next. So this is what we call the kitchen. There's a kitchen and a restroom behind this. We had to sister some of the studs along with redo the entire foundation of that entire section. Next. This is a picture of it. Basically, I think now it's got some weather protection on it, but our plan is to actually, restore the siding, the windows, stuff like that. This is the next phase. So this is a picture of some of the connections between the wall framing and the roof framing, about where that first floor work happened. Fortunately, none of this was actually mentioned in the previous report that was done, not by our firm. So some of this is a little discovery, but when I do my cost estimates, I always anticipate the worst. This is a picture of the chimney. It's in bad condition, but you can also see in this photograph that you can basically see through the siding. I'll show you a picture from the other side. I like this picture because it doesn't show really bad conditions. It shows the age of the building. So you could see where the tick marks were for the joinery of the heavy timber frame, which is really cool, which will be preserved. And then this is the same framing members, but because the the rafters have deflected so much, at some point, they put little bits of wood on top and then put the plywood sheathing on it, so this way that the roof looks flat from the outside and it's sagging from the inside. Next. And then this is also another picture of the main roof framing, and this also shows some 18th century detailing that we very rarely see, where they actually recess the open board sheathing into the tops of the rafters, which, it's when they had plenty of time and labor was cheap.
But what it did was it made the wood shingle roof sit flatter, on the roof. Maybe this will be like the third or fourth time we've seen this, and we've done a lot of 18th century framing, so it's interesting, and we'll keep that. This is a building section that Tom worked on to kind of show all the areas of detailing that need to be addressed in this next phase. And that this will be incorporated into the larger contract documents. This is, this particular wall, which is where the restroom is. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the layout of the building, but this is probably the 1940s edition. And there's actually no vertical framing whatsoever. We don't know how the siding was put on, so we'll fix that. And then just a couple of conditions on the outside. So we are gonna fix the windows and the siding and the trim, but we are concerned because where that trim piece is removed, the post behind it is rotted. So we're gonna anticipate a fair amount of framing repairs once we remove the siding, kind of similar to what we saw at the kitchen wing. Windows are in really bad shape, siding's in really bad shape, lots of repairs. This is the other side of that picture I showed of the attic, where you can see where the siding's actually pulling away. It's like paper thin at this point.
What was the animal?
that was a nest.
As a nest, that's a bird's nest, yep. Well, the fact that it's not being used, it's very, what's that?
Are we charging them rent?
Well, because there's no one around, they're gonna nest. So that's the gable end, needs a lot of repairs, and then that's most of you can see this actually from the street, it's the bay window. Again, in need of tender loving care. And then this is an image of the exterior, one of the exterior elevations that will be incorporated into the drawings. It just kind of shows you our approach to how we do our drawings. But then this will become part of a much bigger set. But that sort of sets the precedent, and from there, we do all the details that go with it, stuff like that.
Can I just go back to this picture for a second?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you put those in, like there was nothing actually attaching the wall to the lower?
No, so when, in that particular part of the building, the whole entire floor had sunk in. So the thing we did was we reframed it, we rebuilt the foundation, and we also laid in new concrete, like what we call a rat slab, which will then also help lower the moisture levels in the building, which was causing your powder post beetle problem. So the last phase, which I know you put a lot of investment in, did a tremendous amount of work to help save the building, but this next phase will address what's kind of left. It will focus on the structure and the exterior. There's still some interior work that needs to be done, but at least the building will be stabilized and, weather tight and all that.
I'm hoping to get it done by the fall festival, October what? 16?
Yeah, I think that's 16.
What?
This phase. Yes, so it,
Windows,
long story short,
siding?
it looks better, it'll look better from the outside by the time we
Amazing.
have.
We do that. 4 months is what we normally give contractors. Yeah. Because they will always add a month, so.
October 17th.
With things like the flooring on the inside and the siding, any of those pieces that are old, are those being kept and refurbished, or is this now new construction?
So we do try to keep as much as we possibly can, but as you can see from that gable end, the siding is actually paper thin. So I can't actually save that. We have to go back with something that matches it.
Right, siding was just an example. So
Yes.
I had gone to a seminar with the Historic Trust. And they talked about, with the windows, you save the pieces that you can and then make a new window.
Yes.
Like you take the pieces, as many of them are as usable, and then you make as many new old windows.
That's correct. So when it comes to windows and doors, we reuse what's there. So we're not big on new windows. For the most part, a window, particularly, so it's the lower sash that's usually in bad condition, it's usually the bottom rail that's in bad condition. So we just pop off the bottom rail, maybe fix the side rails and rebuild the window. Yeah, and then new glazing putty, surface prep, paint, and then reinstall.
And then some of the floors on the inside of the house were the wide plank flooring that was older. Did that get
The
retained?
fireplaces are, that is in really good shape. That
Yes,
The floor is still in the house.
yes, so the flooring's still in the house, the kitchen wing was more newer material
Right.
than the core.
Right.
We're not really replacing as much in the core part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanna jump in and say, it was, Liza and I were the first ones to like say, we have to do something, and, the fact that we're here today talking about how it's looking so much better is really, I could cry.
Thank goodness you guys were persistent, because this ends up being a low priority on the government list.
I get that, and I wanna give a real shout out to the Historical Preservation
Yes.
Committee,
Yes.
Karen Castles, our amazing
Can you guys all
fundraiser, yeah, can we give you like
Amalia,
Molly, here, come on now. Stand, come on, oh, there you are,
stand.
Yeah.
stand up, yeah. Stand up.
Half the people.
Come on, Molly, come on. It's amazing, it's amazing, great job. And when I said to Historic Trust, because he said this is not the worst house I've ever seen, Glenn Saponis, and I was like, all right. And then I said, how do you sell it to residents though? And they say, once you lose this history, you never get it back. And this is our jewel, and I really appreciate everybody working so hard to do this.
I appreciate the fact that Susan gave me the baton on this one. And then let me take over the reins on this and run with it, because, and I'll tell you, and they're just three of the people that are on the committee, but the rest of the committee, everybody is fantastic. And I love working with everybody that's on the committee. And we throw a hell of a party on the 17th, so come on out. It's great. It's a great time. All right, I already got my order in for fantastic weather, so I mean, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 4.
Only have a mud year.
Only 1 year we lost 3 cars that we're still looking for, in the mud.
In the mud.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 years we've had great weather, so yeah, it's,
We get more and more people that come, and then the joy that they get from taking the tour and listening to the history, it's just amazing, so.
Okay, so John and Liza, if anybody ever watching this or online now wants to make a contribution to the new 501c3, how do they do that?
You don't know yet.
we didn't get there yet.
Number
Yeah, we're,
It took a while to get that.
yeah.
Well, they can still, for now, they can make, as they have in the past, you can write checks to, is this Littell Lord Trust?
Or trust, yeah.
And this project is entirely paid for with donations and grants.
And grants.
No
No taxpayer money.
Which is also like amazing. So thank you to everybody who's donated throughout the years. So they can still just write a check, send in a check, drop it off.
Yeah, our next meeting for the
GoFundMe
preservation
or the
committee
GoFundMe.
is going to be on March 12th, so by then we should have all that information up and running, so we should have it by, at least hopefully by the next meeting. Maybe I can get a conference call with everybody, we can all do it that way, find out what the information is, but
And then just a reminder to, if you are employed by a major corporation and you donate to a
Yes.
501c3,
Mhm.
most of them have matching
Great point.
grants
Yeah.
available. So you can double your donation to fix the house.
Isn't it better to go without GoFundMe, because don't they take a percentage? GoFundMe?
They do.
So if you can take it
You
directly.
just got the EIN, you have to you can't get a bank account, so it's step by step.
Yeah, so for now,
But
check.
the trust fund, you can donate right to the trust fund, you don't have to go through
Yeah.
the GoFundMe.
And thank you to Connolly and Hickey because they helped us with our historic preservation grant application. The state one last year, and they allow you to use funds already expended as your match. And I don't know, you called it some sort of math jujitsu. You did. I was like, I don't know, there is something. But I trust you, you do this every day, let's do it. And, we got another 384,000 or something to.
April 16th is the next deadline for doing the historic trust.
All right, so let me just jump in, because typically when we do conference session, I always open it up to the residents if they have any questions before our professionals leave. So let me just do the formality of opening it up to anybody who'd like to speak, ask questions about this particular conference session. Okay. Anything else from the governing body?
Thank
You
you.
can mention anything?
thank you.
Thank
Very exciting, very exciting.
For coming out tonight.
Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on to the regular agenda, please.
And move that the following minutes as distributed be accepted and approved. Public meetings, December 16th, 2025, January 7th, 2026, January 20th, 2026, and February 3rd, 2026.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Maderos.
Abstain on, that were on the September meeting and yes on the rest.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
I move to open the citizens hearing.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Maderos.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
Okay, comments are welcome during the public comment period during this meeting on any matter over which the township has jurisdiction. To make your comment, the speaker must come forward to the microphone, state his, her name, and address for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. The council president will keep time. Please promptly yield the floor when time is called, or you hear this buzzer, and return to your seat. Your cooperation in adherence to these rules of order will ensure an orderly and respectful meeting. With that, the citizens hearing is now open.
That's it, your time's up, sir. No, I'm just, I'm kidding.
I keep you on your toes, sitting.
I see your face there.
Nelson Sauber, 125 Park Avenue. How many of the council members have a sidewalk in front of your house? I would like to ask you for a proposal that anybody who in town who has a sidewalk in front of their house get a 5% reduction in their taxes. I lived in town for 50 years and I've been fighting the DPW, who has to do a job, I understand, but it's horrendous. I take care of actually 500 feet of sidewalk for neighbors who are incapacitated, who can't do that. And it's 3 hours out there struggling. And as soon as you do that, the plow comes through and buries the sidewalk. If they would only just do it from curb to curb, right from the beginning, that would be a big help. I have is there an environmental committee on?
Commission, yes.
Are you folks happy with all of the cement used for the Peppertown Park? I just, several years ago, there was a couple who came in with some storyboards and presented a wonderful presentation on what they would like Peppertown Park to look like. And they needed private donation money to do so. And somehow that fell through the cracks, I think. I just cannot believe the amount of concrete that has been used to create the walkways there. And as this snow has proven, Sherman Avenue is now, it's just totally ridiculous. If you have to, please make it one way. Well, I felt that all you needed to do was just put sidewalks in the entire length with the white stripe where folks have to be on the inside of the white stripe. And that's all you needed to do. And it was no parking. But it was such a beautiful park. And I know it'll probably come out looking as you wish it would be. But for a 50-year resident, change is very difficult. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. You always have wonderful things to say, and thank you for doing all that shoveling for your neighbors. It's very kind of you. We appreciate you. Joe?
Does you want to talk about chickens or?
Would you like chicken?
No.
We're getting to know each other way too.
Joanne Danza, 923 Mountain Avenue. I got a bunch of things to talk about. It says at 3:25 you made the amendment. What's the emergency? According to the law,
No, we pulled something from the agenda, right? We pulled the Connell, which I think the mayor referenced in the beginning, we pulled the Connell zoning ordinance
okay,
from the agenda, removed it.
no, okay. So I'm gonna go into this now. Who wrote the ordinances for number 226-2, 3, and 4? Is it a law firm working for the township that created it? And if so, can they produce an interpretive statement due to all the legal terms for the common man to comprehend? If not, can the council have one of the law firms that work for us write a more user-friendly statement for the public to better understand the ramifications of such ordinances. All right.
Which one were you talking about, Joe?
2026-04.
2, 3, and
Oh,
4.
2, 3, and 4.
It was pulled.
It was pulled.
No, I know it's been pulled. I got more things to talk about that, but this is quite a bit. You know,
The planner wrote those.
The affordable housing
yeah.
planner wrote that in compliance with our affordable housing.
now we pay for that guy?
Yes,
Okay.
nobody does it for free, except for the 7 of us up here.
But
We get paid a little bit too, I guess.
in association with that ordinance which got pulled, there was a scheduled conference session so that you would have, if not a simple interpretive statement, but the planner would have been here to explain the key components and answer resident
And when we
questions.
do introduce it, that he will be here to explain it and you can ask questions.
Okay, now does that also, that's gonna affect tomorrow's meeting with the planning board, correct?
Yes, that's also getting
That
moved to the
will
fourth.
do.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Since we're talking about this, 2026-2. With all due respect, it goes on about, section 6. This ordinance shall presented to the mayor for her approval and signature. It goes on to talk some more stuff and says, well, either her approval and present it to her. Can they remove the wording her or just
This is
make?
the one that was
It's been
pulled?
pulled.
Yeah.
This has been pulled.
Okay,
But I'm a mayor, I'm a female, so why wouldn't it say her?
I'm just saying, why do you,
It used to say him, and then
I
I
didn't
became
say
the
him, I
mayor.
said unisex,
I think it should say her.
okay? In the event that you get abducted by aliens,
I'm sure it'll say whoever.
Absolutely.
My successor. will
he would
say.
do it, right?
Right?
All right, section 6.3.5.1, MU mixed zone C6. I'm bringing this up anyway. Municipal buildings and other government issues. Why would that have been in that? I mean, I know it's pulled, but I found that interesting. Municipal buildings and other government uses. It's something that
I'm not sure because I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what you're
Yeah.
referring
Well,
to.
so the language on that originally was based on the, no, it was before the MU zone. It's the Office Research Park.
Oh,
So the permitted usages
Right.
from a previous ordinance and they didn't remove those usages, they just added new usages. And this is going back 10 years when we, the township, created the MU zone the first time. So there were a number of things in there that I had questions about 10 years ago. And the answer was that, which is it was in the previous permitted usages, so it was just here.
So it's in a sense, it's a government boilerplate for the affordable housing.
No, this was
Just I know
adding
that
to-
yourself.
the Connell Corporate Park was originally zoned OR, which is office research. When the MU zone was created, it gave them the ability to put housing there and other uses like hotel, gyms and spas,
What's called mixed use.
mixed
MU.
use, right?
Sure.
So the township added to the office research definition to add those additional uses. We didn't take away anything that they already have.
Okay,
So there's no boilerplate involved.
I understand, and so there's a collaborative effort when they wrote this, that everybody trying to look long-term,
Yes.
okay? So also, I know it's been polled, but I know there was verbiage here about, lots 4101 lots 2 through 19. The last I checked the tax record, most of those homes are owned by Connell, and they're listed as R15 residential. I would like to know in the event that there's gonna be any changes in that.
All of this is gonna be covered by the.
Next week.
That would be
because
by the-
That board is Watchung, and I'm sure Watchung would like to have some say to that. If there's gonna
If it
be,
knows-
They all have, yeah.
So Joe, Angela can speak to this, if she had to perform a 200-foot radius notification.
right,
So anybody within so that would be watching as well, so.
We did pull it. It happens once the ordinance gets introduced, a copy of that ordinance and the notice of the ordinance being introduced and the public hearing date goes to any resident with any owner of property within 200 feet, including those.
Right.
okay,
So we've gotten that list.
all right, and 226-3, it talks about the developer shall have the obligation to deed restrict the affordable units as very low or moderate income affordable units. I haven't been doing this for a long time, but that was the first time I saw very low, and moderate income. Is that terminology been there all this time?
That's.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, standard.
Standard, okay.
Standard to our plan.
On what's it, 100 confined space and trench rescue?
Mhm.
I'm a little concerned about that because you may wish to explore to have the fire department or other law township entities be the first responders. Time is of the essence when there's a situation like that. If you're gonna get someone coming from Madison, it may only become a recovery.
So we did this because our department did not get the certification, so we entered into a shared service, which I understand the fire department to be very pleased with, which is why we're re-upping it very well.
And it was hard to get staff
It's hard to
come
get.
from work. They have a paid fire department through that SIP, so it's guaranteed reliability.
So if there's a confined space problem and we all, majority of our volunteers are at work,
Great.
it may, at times of the essence, to your point, exactly. Madison is paid, so they can actually probably get here quicker than some of our guys. So it just makes sense.
Well,
And again,
you never wanna be involved in one of those situations.
no, absolutely not. But our fire department seems to be happy with the service.
Okay, I got a question on one of the bills, it's professional photographer, Christina Galazio, $450. What do we need?
I had the same question.
So I can answer that. That was the recreation department during the Santa time downstairs. Ran sort of as a program. They hired a photographer where people paid to have their family photos taken. And what you don't see in that is the money that the families paid to have their photo taken, paid for the photographer. We just had to pay her through the township. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
We got the money back.
I've seen it a few times on different bills. Question on 713 Plainfield Avenue, there's a Sunoco gas station. Would this be the forum that they know what's going on with that in terms of he wants a
Planning board.
planning board? Okay. All right, please repair the flag poles. And the three of them out here,
What's wrong with them?
Yeah.
are they also half-mast? I thought they were damaged. Were you able to raise flag last couple?
They put, I think the only thing that they put a stopper on it because the American flag is supposed to obviously be the highest flying flag. There
Or
might be stoppers on the other where they appear to be half-mast, but we were out there for.
They're half mast now.
They are in half mast, and I don't know why.
Be this, there was a school shooting. Isn't that-
Jimmy's on top of that. Jimmy has an app.
They were,
Chief, are you aware of any reasons? Okay,
when I was here for the senior.
we'll find out. We'll address it.
I just got to let you guys know this,
We give you more than 3 minutes,
of
right?
course, I don't share the vision of the present affordable housing plan. It's my opinion that it's unconstitutional and is being manipulated by powerful connected entities, unscrupulous law firms and builders who have been able to lobby legislators for overly advantageous rules and regulations without regard to the infrastructure and quality of life with so many small towns in New Jersey. I hope to see the day it gets overruled and a more responsible plan is implemented. Thanks.
Funny you say that. I just had breakfast with the mayor of Fanwood and she and I were essentially saying, not quite that harshly, but how frustrated we are at this process and how, our situations are never taken into account, that they don't put together suburban mayors and talk about the lack of land. We just happen to have no Kia. That just happened, to occur. But at Fanwood, she has no land and, is supposed to come up with X hundred number of units and it's frustrating. And there are other more urbanized communities who need, housing rehabilitated and need places, and it's just, we're not being listened to as mayors. All mayors.
I understand. I know Milburn last night, I think, voted 7-1 against some kind of redevelopment, and the mayor said that the mayor was the only dissenting vote and said it's because you have to meet the Affordable Act, and I think it's a form of dictatorial power that's out of control.
Don't disagree.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody
Have the
else?
chickens?
One here. That's 7 eggs.
All right.
No one, I move to close the citizens hearing.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Maderos,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
I move to adopt resolution 2026-95, Resolution adopting the pre-qualification regulations related to the anticipated bid for exterior restoration of the Littell Ward.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Stole my resume, but that's all.
Oh, I did it.
You know what alphabets?
A lot of M's.
A-M.
So your M.
Without my glasses, you didn't get it.
You did it well. I'll second both of you.
Can Andy go first on roll call, so you feel
That's-
better?
Absolutely.
Roll call.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Maderos,
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes. Andrew, would you like to have mine?
You go right. I'll move.
I move to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolutions 2026-96 through 2026-105. These resolutions will be approved by one motion.
Second that.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mr. Maderos,
Yes.
Mr. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
Ordinance 2026-03, an ordinance to amend Appendix A Municipal Land Use Procedures Ordinance of the Code of the Township of Berkeley Heights to increase the township's affordable housing set aside for developments in the downtown zone districts, downtown development DD, and home business HB, with rentals units from 15% to 20% to address the township's affordable housing obligations.
I move that the ordinance is read by the clerk be offered on first reading and that March 3rd, 2026 be set as the date for public hearing, and that the clerk be directed to advertise the same said ordinance according to law.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Maderos.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Excuse me, yes.
Mrs. Pope.
You're holding out now?
You sold out for a better offer.
I think so.
Madam Clerk, can you read the ordinance 2026-04? An ordinance repealing Article 4.7 Affordable Housing Development Fees in Part 4 Development Procedures and Part 18A Affordable Housing Mandatory Set Aside in Appendix A Municipal Land Use Procedures Ordinance and amending Part 18 Affordable Housing of the Code of the Township of Berkeley Heights to address the requirements of the Fair Housing Act, FHA, as amended, and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls, UHAC, as amended regarding compliance with the township's affordable housing obligations. I move that the ordinance as read by the clerk be offered on first reading and that March 3rd, 2026 be set as the day for the public hearing and that the clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance according to law.
Second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Maderos.
Yeah.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
Okay, we've already addressed our township council and administration report, so take it away, John.
Okay. Whereas the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-1 et sec, expressly provide that a public body move into executive session and exclude the public from the portion of the meeting at which the public body discusses any of the 9 areas set forth in NJSA 10:4-12B, and whereas the town council of the Township of Berkeley Heights has determined it necessary to move into executive session to discuss the following subjects, which are included in the aforesaid exceptions: attorney-client privilege, contract negotiations, condo zoning ordinance. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Berkeley Heights that it does hereby move into executive session pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B to discuss the aforesaid matters. And it is further resolved that the aforesaid discussions shall be made public either at a public meeting following said executive session or at such time as any litigated or personnel matters are concluded or upon conclusion of any negotiations or related discussions as otherwise specified. And it is further resolved that this resolution shall take effect pursuant to law.
I second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mr. Maderos.
Yes.
Mr. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Pope.
Yes.
Okay, we will now move into executive session. We will return with no further additional business other to adjourn.